And welcome everyone, my name is Gio. In this video, Billy B and I will be giving you our take on the NFC East division. Here are the futures totals for wins for every team and the odds to win the division, conference, and Super Bowl. And we started off with the Dallas Cowboys, who Vegas have at winning 8.5 games this year. The Dallas Cowboys released wide receiver Dez Bryant and lost future Hall of Fame tight end Jason Witten in the offseason. So that's a pretty significant amount of offense that'll be gone from last year's team. So expect a ton of work from running back Ezekiel Elliott, who I strongly advise you to pick number one in your fantasy football league if you have the number one pick. The Cowboys may have the worst wide receiver core in the NFL, so lots of work for Elliott. The good news is that Dallas still has one of the better offensive lines in the league, although they're a bit nicked up to begin the season. The defense has been reshaped the last couple of years, and they actually finished in the top 10 last year in yards allowed. Something tells me that this is a make-or-break season for head coach Jason Garrett. The Cowboys have only 2 playoff appearances in Garrett's 7 seasons, and with the defending champion Eagles and the Giants team that should rebound from last season's lost year, I don't see Dallas matching last year's 9-game wins. It's just too much for me. I think the best-case scenario for the Dallas Cowboys this year would be to go 3-3 in their division and maybe 5-5 with the rest of the games. I think 7-9 will be just about right for Dallas, so I strongly recommend you take the under the 8.5 win total that Vegas has. Next up are the New York Giants that Vegas has at winning 7 games this year. No team flopped as much last year as the New York Giants, going from 11-5 in a playoff berth in 2016 to 3-13 just last year. Head coach Ben McAdoo and GM Jerry Reese are both out, and in is Pat Schumer. Some of the struggles can be blamed on star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. being lost for most of the season and quarterback Eli Manning's noodle arm. But I love what the Giants did in the offseason. First, they drafted Penn State running back Saquon Barkley in the first round. Barkley can catch the ball as well as run it, and he should be the odds-on favorite of winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year and will help out Eli tremendously. And they really solidified the offensive line, bringing in left tackle Nate Solder from the New England Patriots. That means last year's left tackle Eric Flowers moves to the right tackle, which should improve that position. And they drafted big Will Hernandez in the second round, the big road grading guard, should open up lots of lanes for the rookie Barkley. I also love the move they made on defense, bringing in 3-down linebacker Alec Ogletree. The Giants may not be an 11-5 team like 2 years ago, but they're way better than last year's record. My best case scenario for them has them going 3-3 in division and 6-4 in the other 10 games. I really like the over 7 total, and I like them to win their division this year. So I'll be taking over the 7, and I'll be putting money on the Giants to win the division. Next up are the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles, who Vegas have at winning 10.5 games this year. What a year they had in 2017, but the champs will be entering the 2018 NFL season. But the champs will be entering this year with some questions. Will quarterback Carson Wentz be ready? Was backup Nick Foles' amazing play in the postseason last year just a fluke? And how will the offense be affected now that coordinator Frank Reich and quarterback coach Don DeFilippo have gone? Along with head coach Doug Peterson, those guys did a masterful job last year. The Eagles didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher or even a 1,000-yard receiver, but still managed to rank 3rd in scoring. They spread the ball around and kept things unpredictable for opposing defenses. Defensively, Philly had a solid pass rush, which might even be better with the free agents they brought in. By my count, 19 of the 22 starters from last year will be back this year, but it's really tough to repeat as champions, and it's hard to repeat as winners of this division. That hasn't happened since the 2001 to 2004 seasons. The health of Wentz, the coaching turnover, having the bullseye on your chest, it makes it hard to win back-to-back. My best case scenario for Philly this year is to go 4-2 in the division, which is maybe the most competitive division in all of the NFL, and 6-4 with the other 10 games. I like them to go 10-6 this year, which is right around the number, so I won't be putting money either or on the total. And I don't think they're going to win the division, conference, or Super Bowl this year, so I'll be passing on Philadelphia. And finally, we have the Washington Redskins, who Vegas have as winning 7 games. If you're like me, you probably still don't understand why the Redskins traded for quarterback Alex Smith instead of just keeping the younger and better, in my opinion, Kirk Cousins. But oh well. Smith won't have as many weapons as he had in Kansas City, but there is some talent there with wide receiver Josh Doxson and tight end Jordan Reed if he can stay healthy. Unfortunately, they won't be getting any help from their second-round pick running back Darius Geis, who's already gone for the season, but the offensive line is solid. Injuries really derailed the defense last year, and Washington has started a youth movement on the D-line, but they should be all right if they can just stay healthy. The Redskins have been pretty consistent the last couple of years in their win totals, always at around 500, but they have a nasty schedule this year. My best case scenario for them has them going 3-3 in the division and 4-6 with the rest of the 10 games. Ultimately, I have the Washington Redskins going 6-10 this year, which is under the total. If you want to put some money on that, they won't win the division or challenge for the conference or Super Bowl. Okay, that's my take on the NFC East. For his thoughts on this division, here's Billy B.
All right, first up for the NFC East is the Dallas Cowboys. I expect the Cowboys to take a step back this year. Elliott and the offensive line are the strengths of the team, but they lost Jason Witten, Dak's security blanket, to retirement, and Des Bryant is now gone. Their wide receiver core is very weak, maybe one of the worst in the NFC. Dallas's defense is average at best, so I expect them to go under the win total this year. I would bet the Cowboys under 8.5 wins, and I would not bet them for the Super Bowl, NFC Conference, or NFC East. Next up, we have the New York Giants. I am high on the Giants this year as they improved the offensive line and got a stud running back in the draft, Saquon Barkley. Odell Beckham Jr. is motivated for a new deal, and Eli Manning is a proven quarterback. I expect the defense to improve on a bad season last year. I have the Giants going above the win total this year of 7. I would bet the over wins, and I would not bet them for the Super Bowl, NFC Conference, or NFC East. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have one of the most complete teams in the NFL, boasting a top 5 offense and defense and a great special teams unit. The question for them is when Carson Wentz will be ready. To me, that plays a huge part in taking the over-under win totals this year. As of now, I have them under the win total of 10.5 because of the tougher schedule, but they could easily go over that if Wentz plays all season. So because of that, I will not bet the over-under here. I would take the Eagles to win the NFC East at minus 155, and I would not bet them for the Super Bowl or NFC Conference because the value just isn't there in the numbers. And last, we have the Washington Redskins, who are replacing Kirk Cousins with Alex Smith. Is that an upgrade? I would say no. They have already lost starting running back Geis for the season, and they don't have the all-around talent to compete in a tough NFC Conference this season. I don't see much to like about this team. I have the Redskins going under their win total of 7. However, I would not bet them for this over-under. I would also not bet them for the Super Bowl, NFC Conference, or NFC East. Okay, and those are our thoughts on the NFC East division. Make sure you check out all of our other videos, and please give a thumbs up, give us your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope you enjoyed this video. For Gio, I'm Billy B. See you next time, and let's take the man's money.